Good morning, everybody. Do I need to tell you what day it is? It's Friday, but it's also Earth Day. So it's Hawaiian shirt Friyay.
Love is the vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Mother Nature decided to grace with a little more moisture for our soil here in Calgary. So thank you for that. Honestly, it is easy to get down in the spring when we just want to be outside. We've had enough snow, and it can be hard to put a positive spin on it. I get it, 100%. I get it. Let's focus on the positives, right? We're going into spring and summer. This is not winter. This is spring, and we are a northern country at a very high altitude in this city. You know, we got to expect this. It's always funny, and I'm guilty too. I'm not preaching, but it's always funny that people get as mad about snow in the spring as they get happy about Chinooks in the winter. There's a direct correlation. So we get this, everybody's like, oh, snow, me included. When I say everybody, like I am in there. And then when it's winter and it's -20 and then it shoots up to 10 degrees, we're like, 10 degrees? Unless you suffer from a migraine, and then you're like, this sucks no matter what.
Yeah.
As I know, some friends and family suffer from migraines. I do not.
Oh my God. Did I throw at you?
Yeah. So, if a plant hits me on the head today, oops, that was just Brandy getting mad at me. So we've had a great week. We talked a lot about seeds. We delved into photosynthesis. We learned some things, as we always do. I just found out today that there is an aphid that actually photosynthesizes. So I know no mammals do. And I'd heard some organisms did, but I thought they were kind of like jellyfish and stuff like that. Like I didn't really know the classification. But no, indeed, there's an aphid called the pea aphid, like a pea, like you eat it. Not just the letter P, that Google seems to think when I'm speaking to it. And the pea aphid actually also undergoes photosynthesis, which is wild. I didn't know that. And that's a great thing about this. And I come up here and I talk and I present all these things, but never think that I also am not still learning. I've been in this game a lot, and I never, ever, ever have claimed to know everything. So when I learn something new like that, like right before the show, I was like Googling articles because I wanted to read more about it. So I know what I'm doing this afternoon. Well, I'm working at the call, but I'm also going to be Googling the pea aphid. So we had a great week. We did a ton about seeds. I'm just going to play some Candy Crush. No, I'm kidding. I have notes on my phone.
Does anyone still play Candy Crush?
I saw a thing on, I think it was Twitter this week. Somebody beat Candy Crush.
What?
Yeah, like it was somebody's mom, and they taped it and put it on Twitter, and they got like a big screen and balloons. Thank you for playing and beating this game. And everything.
Wow.
And she's been playing it since it was like the game to play.
I'm too busy with plants to play Candy Crush.
I've never played it in my life.
No.
I know it's like match 3 with candy, but that's all I've got. But it's like, I don't know that many games, so I always just say I'm playing Candy Crush whenever I'm on my phone. So we asked, what is the protective layer around the seed called? And give you the choices of embryo, seed coat, food, or none of the above. Overwhelmingly, like I'm talking, the vast majority of people nailed seed coat. And something else really interesting with the seed coat as well is that's predominantly why seeds look different. You know, a bigger plant may need more food to get it going when you're talking about giant sequoias and sunflowers. But, you know, you look at that plants where the seeds are relatively the same size, and the seed coat gives them the different shapes. And even if you look at a pack of, let's go back to peas. Peas are the thing of the day, I guess. You look at a pack of peas, and, you know, you ask somebody to draw a pea, And I was going to use blue. I'm like, no, they're going to draw more than likely a perfect circle and color it green. If you actually look at a pea, very few are perfect circles. Much like the earth, they have lots of divots and rises. I'm just tying every. So yeah, the seed coat makes things look differently. Now here's one, and this one is I never ever get tired. It's one of those like it's still too early to plant outside. Did the lights just turn out?
Yeah, no, they're turning them
Oh, okay. What are the two things a seed needs to germinate? And again, the amount of time we get the answer light, and it'll be light and something else. We ask for two things, and light and soil, light and heat, light and water. But 90% of the time, light is one of the answers. And when you explain to people, well, most seeds go underground, a light comes on. I'm just tying it. I am like on it today. Woo! Too much coffee. Don't come see me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the car, and I will have crashed hard. But they don't need that to germinate. After they have germinated, once those cotyledons have come up, to begin the process of, are you doing okay over there, Brandy? Yeah. Once we undergo the process of photosynthesis, that's where light comes in. Remember, we spoke about that. That's a key ingredient. Without it, we just go to the respiration cycle. With light, we have photosynthesis. So while your seed is in the soil, it doesn't need it, but it does need heat, and that's the association. We put a seed in the ground outdoors, we think light. Well, the more light there is in spring and summer, the more heat there is. So that's where the association comes from. It's a very rational explanation. What are the first three parts that emerge from a seed? I already give you one: cotyledon, flower, leaf, stomata or stomato. What do you pronounce it? No. Brandy, you put that in my head now.
Sorry.
It's never leaving. Radical, hypocotyl, cotyledon, cotyledon, dicotyledon, tricotyledon. Brandy just making things up. I love it. Love to see it. Root, stem, flower. It is indeed the radical, the hypocotyl, and the cotyledon. Those are the three things. Fancy way of saying root, stem, leaf. And it's like when you take a baby to the doctor. You go to the pediatrics, and they have different names for things. It's basically the same. I mean, they're just little people that are going to grow up, but some things are named differently because they're still developing. It's still a little baby. Same thing. These are essentially exactly what we'll see on a mature plant, but they have different names because they're the first emerging ones, and they need to be treated very differently. You take a plant like a marigold. And put it in full sun, nice and hot, and just blast it with light all day. It is going to love you all day for it. You take a little cotyledon, put a grow light on it, and blast it with light for 12 hours, you're probably going to kill it. It cannot absorb that light. It is that small. So you've got to be very gentle with them. So we give them special names. How do you water seeds after indoor planting? Watering can, spray bottle, bathtub, kangaroo.
I think it's kangaroo.
3 people also agreed with you. However, 78 people got spray bottle. And you can use a watering can, absolutely. I have done it. I'm not a big fan of it. I have seen better germination rate using a spray bottle because you don't run the risk of drowning it, overwatering, or pulling the seed too deep. If your seed needs to be at a 1/2 inch, it's because that's what the hypocotyl is capable of growing above the surface. If your hypocotyl can only get to a 1/2 inch or an inch before the cotyledons come out, and you think that an inch deep, an inch and a half deep, it doesn't have the growth to get out and develop the cotyledons. So it may indeed germinate. Again, remember the germination is the breaking down and the mixing of the food source to get that embryo to sprout. It may have germinated, it just didn't have the strength to break the soil. So that's why depth is important, and that's why I use a spray bottle mist the soil, and then let the soil pull the moisture down. Why is it a good idea when planting to place the seeds on the surface of your soil when you're planting in a tray? Is that so you can remember which cells need them? They grow better on top of the soil as a decoy for predators, as a great snack for kangaroos. It's a great snack for kangaroos. And it's so that you can remember. It's a trick. A lot of people, the number one answer here was they grow better on the top of the soil. They do not. Some do. Some do. Microgreens, for example. But you need to read the back of the pack. The vast majority of seeds will want to be sank into the soil. And again, the reason for that is the soil is going to act as an incubator. It's going to be warm. It's going to hold the moisture onto it. Then as it emerges and the hypocotyl comes up, it has soil around it. So it's already got a sturdiness. More roots will come. More roots will come from that. That's why when you pull a plant, it's not stem and then roots. The roots are right below the soil. You need to give that plant all the support it gets. So I've done it before. I've put a seed on the top of the soil, really, really, really weak. You can see that little radical going in and the stem's trying to lift itself up. You're immediately starting your plant at a disadvantage. So always read the back of the pack, ½ inch on the surface if it's microgreen. Follow those directions. Somebody asked, which is a great tie-in, Keller Living, great tutorial, where do you get your seeds? So all of the seeds I use predominantly, I take them from whatever we have. I think we've got 3 or 4 vendors. But my go-to is West Coast Seeds. They're awesome. They're out of BC. And I just really like their product, and their germination rate is amazing. Not to say there's anything wrong with Mackenzie. I've also, you guys, the sunflowers I did were Mackenzie. But these, like anything, they're the experts. So I defer to them. If I read the back of the pack and they say ½ inch, that's the depth it's going to. And remember, measure your finger, right? My nail bed is ½ inch. My first joint is 1 inch. In between my knuckle and my first joint is about 1.5 inches, roughly. Again, you don't need a ruler. This isn't an exact science. You just need to get approximately to that depth. Then we said, can kangaroos do photosynthesis? Best worded question ever. No, they cannot. So like we said, certain animals can, but they are in the animal kingdom. We're talking some insects, sea slugs. I think there might be a jellyfish. Don't hold me to that. But mammals, like when we think big picture animals, and we're thinking like mammals, fish, birds, no, they cannot. Again, it's at a cellular level, and we don't have a chloroplast in our cells. And the chloroplast is the engine of photosynthesis, which is why I do want to read more on the pea aphid, because I want to find out if it does have a chloroplast built into its cells. Because that's a really cool thing to know. I think, anyway, I'm a huge nerd. Other people think other things are cool to know. I think finding out whether a pea aphid has a chloroplast is cool. Yeah. In 1 square inch of a leaf, how many stomata are there? Overwhelmingly, you got this right, 7,500. I like that Brandy put 9,000 in there. We're going to push you guys. When in doubt, answer C. Yeah. That's why most of my exam questions were just C. No, I studied, maybe, sometimes. Where does gas exchange happen in a plant? Leaves, stem, root, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. Any part of a plant that is porous, that undergoes, growth and change and photosynthesis, there will be a gas exchange. To an extent, even a flower. Flowers are very temporary. They're not permanent, and it's minimal. So when we're talking about a standard plant and we're looking at it, we're going to talk about the main structures where a gas exchange happens. And that's why you never want your roots saturated. That's why you never want your soil compacted. That's why you want to make sure your leaves aren't getting damaged or covered in if you use a insecticidal soap, you don't want that film on it. Last year with the smoke and the ash and the soot in the sky, I was hosing my leaves off to rinse them off so the plant could photosynthesize and respire properly, because it will chalk it up. So And then really quick, we asked a question. Is the struggle real? You're getting houseplants. You have your significant other. You really don't need another houseplant, guilty as charged. How do you tell them? You know, you say I'm getting a houseplant. Yes, I always convince them. No, they always support my new plant friends. And I usually sneak them in and wait until they notice. That one was the highest answer. Yeah.
Guilty people.
Yeah.
Although I do it too.
I don't. Jenny has long ago. I've been doing gardening since before I met Jenny. So I bring plants home. Jenny's like, sure, this is what we're doing now. We've had our kitchen table, dining room table covered in plants while I'm working on them. And Jenny just walks around and lets me get to it. So that wraps us up. Our perennial webinar is sold out tomorrow. Go to our homepage, tons of more webinars. The people who are there, we'll see you tomorrow. And we'll see you guys next week for more GAKidsTV. And I have no idea what I'm talking about because I forgot to look at the schedule this morning because I'm very disorganized. So next week it'll be a surprise. Ooh, surprise week. Have a great Earth Day, everyone. Drive safe, stay warm. We'll see you very soon. Bye, everyone.